We're going to take a little bit of time now and talk about the importance of mentorship, being a mentor to someone, and then also making sure that we have someone speaking into our lives who is a mentor to us and coming alongside us on the journey of ministry. I just think of Jesus and how he modeled this so beautifully for us with the apostles. And I think that we can look no further than to him for guidance on this. And so we just want to take some time to talk about mentors and who is discipling you, and are you taking the time to disciple someone? This is important, knowing that we are only here for such a brief time, and are we bringing up the next generation? And maybe it's not even someone of the next generation, maybe it's someone else. Who are you discipling, and who are you being discipled by? Who is speaking into your life and walking alongside you? So just gonna open this up. Do you have anyone in your life that you would consider a mentor to you who has spoken like prophetically over your life in ministry, who you maybe speak with on a weekly basis? Are there rhythms where you meet together? What does that look like for you in mentorship?
Sean had mentioned in a previous video about taking that moment of I see in you. And I've had many people throughout my life when I was really young, teenage years, college years, speak something similar. And I think of Sam Green in my own life, who was Dean of Music at Trevecca when I was there. And when I think about Sam, I think about somebody that I could call to this day, that I could still ask questions, that I could present different scenarios to, that he could speak into, or tell me to slow down and really think about a direction that I thought that I should go in. Somebody that's been through it, that's been a worship pastor, that's been in education, in my scenario, that can really give words of life to you. But that's not always the way that it turns out. Sometimes they do caution you in those moments. And so it has to be a relationship based on trust, because you need somebody that's going to speak the truth in love, that's going to be very clear when they're speaking to you about different issues that you're facing. And so mentorship, it's just been a huge part of my life. And then all of a sudden, one day, you turn around and somebody's asking for your advice, and you say, oh, I think I may have arrived or just entered into the space of being someone's mentor. And the cycle continues, right? And you begin to speak into someone's life as best as you can. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing.
Yeah. I would even challenge us to, as we think of who mentors us, my lead pastor has challenged our leadership team at my church, leadership as in all of the leaders, the student ministry leaders, the discipleship leaders, all of those leaders, to find someone, an apprentice, to come up under us and that we can apprentice. And we do this thing called Launch Retreat, and it's all the leaders of all of those ministries gather for like a weekend training summit. And he was just, the numbers alone. He's like, if every one of you had an apprentice that you brought up over this next calendar year, this leadership retreat alone would be double, And then we think about that. I mean, if we think about that, disciples making disciples, and wow, the impact that could have. And so just challenging us to maybe find someone, and because how often is someone going to say, hey, can you mentor me? Or maybe they do. Some people would do that. Or maybe it's us saying, hey, I see that God's gifted you in this way, and I want to come alongside you. Can we walk together in this mentorship? I feel like that could be a really beautiful thing for some people who maybe wouldn't ask it themselves. So
I used to hear this idea, everybody needs a Silas, everybody needs a Barnabas, everybody needs a Paul, or a Timothy, a Silas, and a Paul. And I think that's very true. You know, my mentor is, she's 83, bless her heart. And part of it was, who do I want to be at 83? And it's Miss K. Like, she been married for 50 something years. Her boos still look at her like she the finest thing that walk in a room. And I'm 23 years in, and I want him to look at me the same way another 20, 30 years from now. She has 4 children who are all grown, and they are productive members of society, navigating life and doing well. I want to get my girls there where they are navigating, living into who God has called them to be. And she loves her some Jesus, period. Like, she just oozes it. And I want to be that. That's who I want to be. And so she very much is my person. I got a Timothy, bless her heart. And yeah, we gonna make it. That's all I can say. You know, having someone that you mentor, you know, some characteristics, patience, you know, who were you back then, right? And she is young, she is, you know, a beautiful human who is on a journey. And sometimes the way she navigate her journey, I be thinking, baby, what we doing? But that's okay,
Yeah.
right? Because remember my Carolyn, there are many days she looked at me and said, baby, what we doing? And so, you know, having that, and then I do have my Silas. You know, we have been friends for 20 years almost. That person who is, you call him your ride or die, because we can keep up with each other. Miss K ain't riding or dying with me, bless her heart. She not. But that person who continually speaks into me, encourages me, tells me when I tell myself I can't, she absolutely says, yes, you can, and you better. And she is honest with me. And so, you know, that becomes, having those folks, your own little village, so to speak, becomes important in the journey of mentorship. And so I can't imagine life now without those 3 women. I cannot imagine life without them. And they make this journey of grace all the sweeter. And they remind me that I am worthy. Even, and you know, people might see us sitting up here and think that we don't have those challenges, you know, where we get up one day and look in the mirror and think, what was God thinking when he picked me? Like, we have, well, I'll speak for myself. I have that. And those, you know, definitely my Silas and my Paul, they remind me he picked you because, and then they run a list that I didn't even realize existed. And that is sometimes what you need, when somebody else to run the list of what God thinks of you, because you can't see it and you can't feel it. And then guess what? I turn around and do that same thing for the girl that I'm mentoring when she finds herself asking those questions. And so it is this cycle, and it's a beautiful cycle to be in them. If there's cycles to be caught in, right? That's a beautiful one to be in.
Yeah, I think one of the really cool word pictures for mentorship is when somebody gets into your car seat and they sit down there, and in my case, my mentor's got legs a lot longer than mine, and he's probably wearing a size 15 shoe, and he's sitting there and he's like checking everything out in this cramped little space, and he's like, you drive with your mirrors at this setting? Because he's helping me adjust my blind spots, you know what I mean? And so I'm like, okay, you know what? I probably do need to make this adjustment here, and I need to make this adjustment here. But it takes 2 sides, depending on what. If you're the person that's, hey, you know what? I'd like you to sit into. Would you please come into my mess of a car, right? And to find somebody who will do that, which you absolutely have to have. And I talk with my mentor once a month, and he is gracious to squeeze into my seat. And then it allows me to see how uncomfortable that looks. And then for me to go, you know what, maybe I could actually do that for somebody else. Because he helps me align myself to Jesus, and then I'm like, okay, well, maybe I could climb into somebody else's seat and help them adjust their mirrors as well. But I just think it's a beautiful picture of this process of refining one another, taking time. We are going to make it. It's like, hey, are you really going to stop at that 4-way stop? Because with the way you have everything adjusted, it looks like you might just pass right on through it. But you are going to make it. And all the richer when we have somebody who's willing to get uncomfortable with us, or when we are willing to also make ourselves uncomfortable, get into somebody else's seat and help them see things from another perspective. It's really powerful.
Sean, you kind of hit on this with allowing people to get into the mess of our car. But what else would you say is a characteristic that you need to possess in order to be someone who can be mentored, to be teachable, to be, does that make sense? What do you need to be someone who can be mentored?
Humility.
Because maybe some of our friends watching are like, I don't have a mentor. I don't even know where to start. Humility. Yeah. And that's not a woe is me. That's a honest, here I am today, and I want to get there, and I need someone to help me get there.
You have to have a drive.
Yes.
And that drive is going to propel you to move forward, but you need someone to show you the rest of the way to get there, because they've been there.
Right.
They've understood that. At BFC, we're blessed to have a music director on staff. And part of his job is to, if you've seen the person with the microphone that doesn't go out into the house, but it goes to the band and the vocalists alike, he's to speak to the band and guide them through transitions and all that. And so he's on my team. Well, I wanted to really understand, it's kind of a reverse mentorship here. I wanted to really understand what it's like to sit in that seat and be behind that microphone, to feel the stress that he's feeling inside the service. And so at the same time, I know that he wanted more opportunities to lead out front. And so one day we just swapped places. And that was so beneficial, I think, for both of us, because afterwards you get a chance to talk through things, and hey, you were up there leading, what did you see? And I was back here where you are, and this is what I saw. And it's an iron sharpens iron thing too, that helps you both grow in that area.
And a good point that you may be mentoring someone, and in that mentorship relationship, they're going to end up mentoring you or teaching you something else,
Plenty, yeah.
And that's so beautiful.
So I think a teachable spirit also becomes, and I think once you so I'm 53, and it can be easy to think at a certain age, you don't need that anymore. And it can be, especially as you get upwards, 55, 60, 65. Oh, I don't need a mentor, I need the one. And here's the thing, as long as there is breath left in your body, there is still work to be done. There is still transformation to be done. And to limit ourselves to this idea that now only I need to be the person mentoring, we cheat ourselves out of the experience of literally going deeper with him. We cheat ourselves out of that. And so to be open to that, remain open to that, becomes so important.
Yeah, because I really think the essence of mentorship is seeing someone who's further along on the journey than you are, and saying, I want to be like her or him in this way. I want more of their, I see their prayer life, the fruit of it. And I want to be more like that. And so coming alongside them and then saying, I see this person that I want to come alongside and help get them to what God has taught me along the way. And it's just like this baton, passing on the baton of faith, and being a part of the goodness of God, and sharing that with those to come, and sharing with those who are further ahead on the journey with us. I mean, that is just the essence of discipleship and mentorship. So I think it's a privilege that we get to be a part of that. And I would encourage each of us here to keep pressing into those mentorship relationships, those that we mentor and those who mentor us. And for our friends watching here, I just pray about this. Pray that God would reveal to you someone in your life who is desperate for someone to come alongside them and mentor them, walk alongside them, and find someone that you want to emulate, and you see the fruit of their life and you're like, I want that. And just ask them, will you be my mentor? I guess the worst they could say is no. But my guess is majority of the time someone is going to say, absolutely, I would love to come alongside you in this journey together. So good stuff.